So what's Donald Trump doing today, though, while he's golfing? What kind of important messages is he posting to try to address what he's doing? What this article says is that Donald Trump is using powers that he doesn't have because the power to tariff is actually the power of Congress, and that Trump is unlawfully using emergency war powers, in essence, notably, and this includes China as well. Apparently, the U.S. is now excluding computers and smartphones and other electronics from the tariffs.
Ever wonder what happens when a president with zero economic knowledge starts a trade war? The answer is playing out right now as the mighty dollar crashes and burns, and furniture makers in China have completely stopped getting orders from American companies. Same story with toys, shoes, and sports gear. But don't worry, folks. Trump exempted his rich buddies' products while your grocery bill keeps climbing. How convenient! Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. So here's the juicy part, folks. The Wall Street Journal just busted Trump for playing dress-up as King of America. Turns out, our Constitution says Congress controls tariffs, not the guy with the weird comb-over. Trump's basically grabbing powers like they're, well, you know what he likes grabbing. He's using emergency war powers to start a trade war. Can you imagine? I declare emergency because I woke up grumpy and want to tax stuff. That's not how any of this works, and boy, oh boy, is this backfiring. The dollar is doing a nosedive faster than Trump rushing to the buffet at Mar-a-Lago. Foreign investors are looking at our economy under Trump's tantrum leadership, and they're running for the hills. It's like watching someone set fire to their own house and then wondering why the neighbors won't come over for dinner.
Despite Trump and all of his state regime media saying the iPhones and the electronics and the laptops and all of those products, what this article says is that Donald Trump is using powers that he doesn't have because the power to tariff is actually the power of Congress, and that Trump is unlawfully using emergency war powers, in essence.
Gotta have our cheap flat screen TVs. Okay. Does the guy really need $50 off a flat screen when his factory left?
Wall Street bigwigs are freaking out because nobody wants our treasury bonds anymore. When investors don't want your bonds, interest rates go up. When interest rates go up, your mortgage gets more expensive. Your car loan gets more expensive. Your credit card debt gets more expensive. See the pattern here? Trump's tariff temper tantrum is hitting your wallet directly, but he's too busy rage tweeting to notice. Remember when you could afford a new couch without having to sell a kidney? Those were the days. Chinese furniture makers are reporting something pretty alarming. American orders have completely stopped. Zero, zilch, nada. As they put it, furniture producers in China who are not subject to that exemption, they've seen a complete halt in orders from U.S. importers. And it's not just couches. It's toys, clothes, shoes, and sports equipment too. So next Christmas, when little Timmy asks why Santa brought him socks instead of that baseball glove, you can thank Tariff Man. And here's where it gets really rich. After all that tough talk about making Apple pay tariffs, guess what?
Trump's $150 trillion gift to America. And it has a photo of Trump next to Bitcoin. Notably, in the past year, Bitcoin is down close to 10%. What we just learned this morning as well is that the United States published tariff exclusions for specified products that are subject to these exclusions. So what's Donald Trump doing today, though, while he's golfing? What kind of important messages is he posting to try to address what he's doing?
Trump folded like a cheap lawn chair. The administration suddenly announced they're excluding computers and smartphones and other electronics from the tariffs, despite Trump and all of his state regime media saying the iPhones and the electronics and the laptops and all of those products would clearly be subject to the tariffs. So your kids' toys get tariffed, but Tim Cook's iPhones get a free pass? I wonder how many rounds of golf that decision cost. Even Trump's own followers are starting to catch on. A Washington Post poll found that 52% of workers are against these trade measures. People aren't stupid. They can see their paychecks aren't growing, but prices sure are. Trump promised to make America great again, but all he's making is America expensive again. China isn't even scared of our tariff threats. They're laughing at us. While Trump stomps his feet and throws his economic toys out of the pram, China is quietly trade war proofing their economy. They're finding new markets, developing new strategies, and basically moving on without us. It's like threatening to break up with someone who's already packed their bags and booked a vacation with your replacement. The real kicker here is that Trump's weekend meltdown happened right after all this economic news started breaking. His grand master plan is falling apart faster than his spray tan in a Florida downpour. Tariffs were supposed to show his strength, but they're actually exposing just how weak his understanding of basic economics really is. It's one thing to have bad policies. It's another level of awful to have unconstitutional bad policies.
It's already in the cards thanks to his ill-founded trade war, no matter how that war plays out.
Right, like it or not, sure, Michael, they are our biggest trading partner. And if we were to manufacture iPhones here, iPhones would cost $3,500. The American people are not going to tolerate that. We have one of the...
Well, he's posting photos and videos like this of Hillary Clinton from the golf course to declare this trade war that is crashing the United States economy and sending the United States into a recession.
The Wall Street Journal didn't pull any punches when they pointed out Trump is using powers that he doesn't have because the power to tariff is actually the power of Congress. This isn't just an oopsie, it's a president trying to act like a king. Our founding fathers are probably spinning in their graves so fast we could hook them up to generators and solve the energy crisis. Foreign markets are taking one look at all this chaos and saying, no thanks. The dollar's value against other currencies is dropping like a rock, which means everything we import, which, spoiler alert, is a lot, gets more expensive. So even stuff not directly hit by tariffs will cost more because our money is worth less. It's like a double whammy of economic pain.
Notably, and this includes China as well, apparently the US is now excluding computers and smartphones and other electronics from the tariffs.
When he doesn't have a job and fentanyl's pouring into the country, that's the trade-off we're talking about here. Now,
Remember when Jesse Waters last week said this?
now everybody says, oh, we got these flat screen TVs.
All because Trump wanted to look tough for his base. The numbers are in, folks, and they aren't pretty. Consumer sentiment has plummeted for the fourth straight month, with an 11% nosedive since March and a whopping 30% crash since December. So much for those tremendous economic promises. While Grumpy Trumpy throws his tariff tantrum, American families are watching inflation expectations skyrocket to 6.7%, the highest since 1981. Yikes! Meanwhile, China's over there making friends worldwide, presenting itself as the actual defender of free trade. Imagine that. The country Trump called a currency manipulator is now the reasonable adult in the room, while America's global credibility swirls down the toilet. The recession risk isn't fake news. It's real, it's here, and it has orange fingerprints all over it.